Election is not until 2025, yet Tiffany Henyard has officially decided she wants to stay as mayor despite the cloud of controversy surrounding her.
Stories new at 6. Embattled Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is mounting a re-election bid. Henyard made the announcement in a post on her Facebook page.
Buckle up, because we're diving into a story so outrageous, so wild, it feels ripped straight from a political drama. Except it's all too real. Welcome to Dolton, Illinois, where the spotlight shines on self-proclaimed Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard. If you think you've heard it all, think again. From fiery town meetings and accusations of power grabs to unpaid rent, and even allegations of authoritarian rule, Henyard's tenure has been anything but dull. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on this political soap opera to uncover what's really going on.
Henyard says she is endorsing a new board, but not announcing who they are just yet, instead promising to name them later this month. Henyard is under investigation by the FBI.
Let's set the stage. Picture a packed room at a Thornton Township meeting, buzzing with frustrated residents, political rivals, and, of course, the ever-dramatic Tiffany Henyard. But here's the twist. Two trustees, Christopher Gonzalez and Carmen Carlisle, were noticeably absent. Why? They were boycotting the meeting, citing concerns over transparency, and accusing Henyard of bulldozing her agenda without proper review. Without their presence, there wasn't a quorum, and the meeting was a complete flop. No decisions, no votes, just Henyard delivering a fiery monologue to a restless crowd left with more questions than answers.
Now to important business in Thornton Township, which hit a roadblock tonight, not because of the weather, not because of logistics, but because two trustees refused to show up.
Let's talk about that monologue, because, wow, Henyard didn't just address the crowd. She delivered a full-blown performance. She accused her opponents of being Judas figures and claimed there was a conspiracy to take her down. In her own words, asterisk when I sue everybody, because I'm coming, no I'm coming, for defaming my name, defaming my character in this conspiracy to destroy Tiffany Henyard. I will come for everyone. Know that. This is facts. That's right, lawsuit threats were flying as she doubled down on her controversial decisions. And, of course, she turned to her signature platform, Facebook Live. For nearly an hour, Henyard defended herself and blasted her critics, leaving many to wonder. Is her focus on serving the community or protecting her own image?
Don Scott, the meeting wrapped up early because two trustees, as you mentioned, did not show up. Chris Gonzalez and Carmen Carlisle. Without them, not enough board members were present to make official decisions.
And speaking of image, let's talk about the banners. You know, the ones with Henyard's face plastered on them, proudly declaring her the super mayor. Recently, those banners were taken down by workers after trustees claimed they were unauthorized and unpaid for. Naturally, Henyard didn't take this lying down. She called the police. That's right, she reported the workers for removing the banners, accusing them of stealing government property. Meanwhile, the vendor behind the banners claims they're still owed nearly
Flacco. Tiffany Henyard actually has two political jobs on two public payrolls. As mayor of South Suburban Dolton, or as she calls herself.
The asterisk block by block asterisk program has also raised serious concerns due to its lack of transparency. Residents have called for detailed records to show who has benefited from the program so far, but those requests have reportedly been ignored. As one frustrated resident put it during a recent board meeting, asterisk for all we know, it could be her friends or people who will owe her favors later. This has sparked growing speculation that the initiative isn't about empowering Dolton residents, but about consolidating Henyard's influence in the community. Critics have even suggested that the program might be a way for the mayor to reward political allies ahead of the upcoming election, raising further doubts about its true purpose.
Very disturbing to hear these things or to kind of see some of the receipts that appear to be connected to it. And I think the taxpayers really deserve better than that.
The situation is further complicated by a glaring lack of financial oversight tied to the asterisk block by block asterisk initiative. Trustees have openly questioned how the program is being funded, with some accusing Henyard of diverting money from other village budgets to support it. During one contentious meeting, Trustee Jason House demanded access to financial records related to the program, but was met with resistance. Asterisk, we can't just keep writing blank checks for these pet projects, asterisk, he said, emphasizing that residents deserve to know how their tax dollars are being spent. Henyard, however, dismissed these concerns, claiming the program is completely above board and accusing critics of trying to sabotage her efforts. Then there's the issue of Henyard's spending habits, which have been a hot topic ever since former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot launched an investigation into Dolton's finances. According to the findings, the village's general fund went from a surplus of over $5 million to a deficit of nearly $4 million in just 2 years. So where did all that money go? Some of it reportedly went toward extravagant purchases on the village credit card, including tens of thousands of dollars spent at Amazon, Target, and even on luxury items. One particularly jaw-dropping expense was a $43,000 charge on Amazon in a single day. Let that sink in.
I have created a bill, which we're going to speak before the Revenue Committee, to give everybody $5,000 on their income tax when they file.
And if you thought that was bad, just wait until you hear about the parties. Henyard has developed a reputation for throwing extravagant events, often billed as community gatherings, but widely criticized as blatant self-promotion. One Valentine's Day celebration, for instance, featured an igloo, R&B music, and chants of Super Mayor echoing through the night. Then there's the infamous skating rink, which cost the village a whopping $2 million and reportedly only opens when Henyard is hosting an event. Critics argue that these parties aren't about uniting the community. They are about boosting Henyard's image. After all, what better way to distract from a financial crisis than with a little glitz and glamour?
You're using public funds for something that taxpayer dollars shouldn't be used for.
But here's the kicker. Residents have started calling these public events vanity showcases, arguing that they seem to focus more on Henyard's personal brand than on actual community benefit. One resident who attended the Valentine's Day event noted that it felt more like the mayor's personal party than a gathering for the people. There are also allegations that some of these events were funded without proper board approval, leaving trustees to scramble and clean up the financial mess afterward. Trustee Kiana Belcher has publicly stated that these events aren't about Dolton's growth or future. They are about Henyard's ego. Supporters, however, argue that these gatherings foster community spirit and engagement. Critics, on the other hand, insist that the price tag is far too high for a village already drowning in debt. Adding fuel to the fire is Henyard's frequent use of social media to promote her events and decisions. Her Facebook live broadcasts, often presented as impromptu updates, have sparked mixed reactions. Supporters praise her for being accessible and unfiltered, while detractors argue that these broadcasts are more about theatrics than transparency. In one particularly infamous video, Henyard accused her critics of being part of a coordinated attack against her, claiming they didn't want to see her succeed because she's a young Black woman in power. While her defenders saw this as an empowering statement, others viewed it as an attempt to deflect from legitimate concerns about her leadership.
We weren't opposed to her having the security detail. We asked how long.
But the scandals don't stop there. Henyard is also facing an eviction lawsuit after allegedly failing to pay rent on her Dolton home for months. Her landlord, Janetta Hall, claims Henyard and her boyfriend owe over $5,000 in back rent and even changed the locks to keep her out. And here's the kicker. Henyard makes nearly $300,000 annually from her combined roles as mayor and supervisor, Yet she reportedly told her landlord she couldn't afford a $200 rent increase. Talk about priorities. To make matters worse, the FBI is now involved. Federal agents have served subpoenas to Dolton and Thornton Township, seeking records on Henyard's spending and business practices. While the investigation is still ongoing, the mere involvement of the FBI has sent shockwaves through the community, and residents are demanding answers. Henyard, however, remains defiant, insisting she's the victim of a smear campaign. In her words, why do we have all this attention on Tiffany Henyard? What the hell are they doing that they don't want us to know about while they're distracting us over here? Despite all the controversy, Henyard is gearing up for re-election. That's right, she's announced her bid for a second term, boldly declaring that she'll win in a lance.
This is your super mayor, Tiffany Henyard, the people's mayor. We out here taking care of the business of the people.
The comment section is buzzing with reactions. One user wrote, Miss Tiffany, you are 100% correct. The community does hate you, while another chimed in. She never ceases to amaze me in the worst ways possible. What amazes me most isn't her blatant theft, her threats, her lies, or her stupidity. It's the fact that she truly believes that mop on her head looks good. Ouch. Clearly, Henyard's leadership has struck a nerve, and not in a good way. So, where does this leave Dolton? On one hand, you have a mayor more focused on self-promotion than serving her constituents. On the other, a community desperate for change, but uncertain how to achieve it. With the April election fast approaching, one thing is clear. Dolton is at a crossroads. Will residents vote for a fresh start, or will they stick with the devil they know? And more importantly, how much longer can Henyard maintain her grip on power before the house of cards comes tumbling down? What do you think? Is Tiffany Henyard a misunderstood visionary, or is she truly the most infamous mayor in America? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into stories you won't believe are real. Until next time, stay curious.